Hello guys, welcome to Developers in Dev. Today we have here Ian Fowler, which is basically the VP of Engineering here at Freetrade, a really cool startup in London. Now we are in the 360, so 15 questions, 5 minutes, 360 degrees. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ian Fowler?
Fuller.
Fowler?
No,
okay. No, what is the word? Like
fuller. Full as in like full.
So when did you start coding and why?
I started coding. The first computer I had at home was a BBC Micro. You know the BBC Micro, yeah? It was a project that the BBC did. I was about 4 or 5 years old, and my dad had got it, and he programmed it with a kind of maths game, and that's like, I used it with my sister, and I thought, it's pretty cool. I quite like computers. And then, I must have asked for a later stage to get an Amiga, so I got an Amiga 500. And it came with a programming book. I didn't really know it was programming at the time. I just kind of picked the book up, started to type some of the words into the console on the Amiga, and managed to get a program running that drew some shapes on the screen. And I thought, this is amazing. It's with just a few keystrokes, you can actually make something change on the screen. I thought it was very powerful. I was about 8 or 9 when I did that. Didn't realize that was programming at the time. And then, it just kind of went from there. I started to do websites for people as I grew older.
What are your favorite books right now?
To be honest, I get most value now from reading online. The last book I read, though, I can't remember the exact name of it. It's got a warthog on the front. Mm-hmm. It's Data Intensive Applications, I think it's called. It's a really good book because it starts off relatively simple, talking about distributed architecture. And then towards the end becomes more and more complex, tackling some of the biggest problems you'd face. So I think most people could pick that up from relatively junior and move all the way through as they kind of get more experience at work.
That's really important. We're going to write it down, the name of the book. So which 3 words could you choose to define yourself as a leader?
Firm, fair, and I think I'm approachable as well.
What is the most important advice anybody in the world has given you?
I'd say probably the biggest piece of advice is to be frank with people, to be open and honest.
What is the most important accomplishment in your career?
I would say that my recent work is the work that I'm most proud of. I think over time, you get better and better as an engineer, you get better and better as a leader. And really my work here at Freetrade I'm very proud of. We launched the app last September. We scaled successfully from what was 10 users when we first pushed it out to tens of thousands of users now. And it's gone pretty well. The team has scaled very well. So yeah, definitely right now is the highlight.
What are the things that you like most about your day-to-day work?
I think in a small startup, it can be painful sometimes, but it's also a lot of fun because you get to switch from sometimes something that's quite strategic, working out how the organization should be structured for you to be efficient, to getting your hands dirty, working on a new project. So I really enjoy that flexibility. Ultimately, everybody here right now has the same goal, which is just to make Freetrade succeed. As you move into a bigger organization, things can get a little bit lost, and it's very clear what you need to do to make things move.
What are those things that you would like to change, that you're not necessarily that happy, or do you think, well, there is a room for improvement?
Hiring is probably the biggest challenge. So we've got some really great people in the team, but we need to have more great people in the team. And I think once we have teams with 5, 6, 10 super strong engineers, you can really start to see some even greater stuff happening.
Give you $10 million in your hand. How could you use them?
I'd put it straight into Freetrade.
As an investor?
Yeah.
When you're not working, what are your 3 hobbies?
My 3 hobbies. Extra work doesn't really count.
Yeah.
I suppose a big part of me still spends time doing the tech-related stuff, so I do like to work on my own projects. I haven't done that since being at Freetrade probably, but I like to work on things that are slightly orthogonal to what I might be doing day to day. But sports-wise, I quite like classic extreme sports, so snowboarding, wakeboarding, whatever it might be. Tend to do those a lot less now that I've got children, but definitely take the opportunity when I can. And I suppose I like eating like most people.
When you mention the projects, what are the fields or kind of the technologies or the kind of type of projects that you want to work?
Yeah, generally it would be something completely new. So recently, for example, ReasonML is quite a new language. I hadn't worked with it before, and I thought, I'm just going to take a weekend and try and build something like this. And I try and build something that's actually useful. I'm not keen on building, say, just an API. It's something that I can use. So I built a train app so I could use it when I commute in the week, got a chance to explore the language, and then I can use it as a reference point when I'm working on things.
What is your favorite movie and what is your favorite song?
Okay, my favorite movie is the Lego Movie. So you know the one. And then Prodigy There, Laura is probably my favorite song.
If you could be an animal in the world, which one would you choose and why?
Definitely a bird. Because as a bird, you can kind of do anything, right? You can take the kind of high-level perspective. You can move around quickly. It's just flying, right? Everybody wants to fly.
Now suppose that we are in Hollywood and you're a movie star.
Yeah.
Choose one character.
It's definitely Brad Pitt.
Why?
Because like a Fight Club, I suppose.
Tell us the funniest thing that have happened to you recently.
I've got two young boys, Kian and Ewan, and Kian is my youngest one, and he's pretty hilarious. And the funniest thing he did recently was when I wasn't expecting it, he cracked me right in the nuts. And it was actually very funny.
Let's suppose that you want to make the first impression to anyone in the world. Do you have to choose one restaurant that you could go there and say, oh, it's going to be awesome?
Samaritz, there is a hotel, I don't remember the name, the bottom of some of the ski resorts. It's the Kempinski Hotel, and the restaurant in there is exquisite.
Cool.
So I went there on my honeymoon. I'll probably never afford to go there again, but yeah.
What is your favorite city in the world?
London.
Why?
It has the perfect balance, really. I think it's, there's always stuff to do, but also it's a very clean city. It's got lots of open space. You compare it to another city in Europe, it's got a lot of green space, and it's a very diverse culture as well.
Cool, so we're done. Thank you very much. Say goodbye to the camera.
Bye.